welcome back to my channel for another Plan With Me video. Today we will be planning the month of August in my bullet journal, but first here's a quick look at last month's theme, which was a watercolor beach theme. I ended up not using these spreads as much as I thought I would, but I still do really like the look of them and the layouts, and I will definitely be using similar layouts to this in the future. For this month, I wanted a more simple theme than some of my past months, so I ended up deciding to go with a tree theme, and I know it kind of sounds complicated to draw trees, but they're really a lot more simple and easy to draw than you might think because you don't really have to be specific when you're drawing branches. You can just draw them however you feel like. So first of all, I am using a Tombow Twin Tone to draw smaller parts of the branches, and then I used an Arteza Real Brush Pen to fill in large areas of the trunk. The texture of the Real Brush Pen is inconsistent and it doesn't fill with the exact same color everywhere. It's more like watercolor painting but less messy. So I would not recommend this if you just want to fill like a large section with black ink or something like that. But for a tree trunk, it is the perfect texture, and then you can also use these water brushes to help spread the ink a little bit better. This month I wanted to use twin tones because they are some of my favorites for taking notes, just because with the two different size tips you can easily have different writing styles and textures, and I think it's just a lot of fun that you can do so much with your writing or your drawing with just one pen. I didn't want this entire theme to just be brown and green and be super typical tree looking, so I also added in some coral pink as the dividers of the calendar, and I will use it later for some lines and other dividers, which you'll see in a little bit. I ended up deciding to put my trackers on the right hand side of this spread instead of them having their own spread, just to save a little bit of space in my notebook, and also to keep things looking more simple and not having a super complicated tracker spread this month. The tracker on the right hand side is for my habits, so this page is just numbered from 1 to 31 vertically, and I also numbered the calendar because I realized I forgot to do it earlier. And then I write in my tracker names of the different habits that I want to track, and I numbered the right side from 1 to 10 horizontally. This tracker is the same as previous months, just vertical instead of horizontal. I then used this twin tone in light green to draw lines between Saturday and Sunday and write in the days of the week to the left of the numbers of the date. I used the same green twin tone to draw in some leaves, and then I used a Arteza brush pen to add some color and texture variation to them. And I tried to use that Arteza brush pen to draw little headers underneath the calendar, and it didn't go super well. I wanted it to be lighter than the pen color, so I used a water brush pen. And then I did something that I know better than to do and tried to draw over it while it was still wet. So when I wrote events, the page just got blobby and gross. So I had to wait for it to dry, and then I rewrote over it, and that was much crisper. So yeah, let it dry if you're going to write over watercolor. I used the same coral twin tone to draw some lines underneath, and then I just decorated with some washi tape and stickers. I wanted it to have a little bit of a scrapbooky feel, but without being too complicated or needing too many supplies, so I figured it would be the perfect month to use some of my stickers, since I do not use them nearly as much as I should. We somewhat spontaneously decided to do another market in the beginning of August, so I was going to put an off to the market sticker there, but it ended up being too big for the calendar, so I just went ahead and started on the first weekly spread. I wanted to use washi tape and stickers to divide the days, and I was looking for a sticker that I knew I had, but I couldn't remember which sticker book it was in, so I had to flip through all three of them until I figured out where it was. But I did eventually find it, and I just blocked off the whole bottom section for Saturday, since that's going to be a market, and I will have a lot of things to do for that day. To kind of stick to the scrapbooky feel, I alternated between using my marker, washi tape, and stickers to divide the days of the week. And you'll notice that I just tried to kind of keep them separate where it wasn't the same style all on the same page or in the same area. And I also did something I don't normally do, and one of the sections is divided for Sunday and Monday instead of being divided for Saturday and Sunday. I'm not sure if that makes sense, but the page is easily divided into 6 sections. Normally you would need 7 for a whole week, and most times you would divide one of those sections to be Saturday and Sunday sharing an area because they're both smaller, but this time I decided to make Sunday and Monday the smaller days so that way I could have extra space on Saturday. I also added in some to-do list stickers and some other little decorative stickers. Here on the bottom right hand, I am just writing in the time for our market, and I just kind of wanted it to look a little cute and fancy. Moving on to the next page, I am again using washi tape across the top and bottom of the page. I really like to make sure that my pages don't all look the same, so I try not to divide them or decorate them in the exact same way every time. I also have an event this Saturday that I will need to do some prep for, so Saturday again has a large area to write. And then Thursday and Friday I made the small days this week, so that way those are mostly just going to be little task list areas, and I don't necessarily have to do everything specifically on Thursday. I just have to do it Thursday or Friday, so I can kind of have them beside each other and then just check off things even if I don't do it on the specific day. And then I used this little sticker up top to make a header for Sunday, and again just using my markers to create random dividers and make sure everything looks similar but is not exactly the same. At this point I realized that I had another green marker I hadn't used yet, so I incorporated that color in and then moved on to the next spread, which is going to be a weekly spread where I divided the pages into quarters, and each day of the week is going to be a quarter of the page, and then I also have a section for favorite moments of the week or gratitude. I had finished most of the rest of my spreads by the time I realized my camera wasn't recording, so here I just recorded that I went in and I drew some tree branches really quick. I didn't want to take up too much space with these, so I didn't do them originally, and I also didn't add any leaves yet because I'll do that later. But yeah, I just kind of added in some random tree branch doodles to pull in the tree theme. This is the spread you didn't see me finish. I had a little bit of trouble figuring out how I was going to make this page since I didn't leave enough space for Saturday to be a full quarter of the page, but I just made Saturday a little bit smaller since that is a free week and we aren't going to be too busy that weekend. And finally, for the last spread of the month, I am doing the last weekly spread, and I'm just drawing a large tree in the middle, and then I'm going to divide the page for the days. Like I mentioned earlier, my camera stopped recording at some point working on one of the spreads, and then the battery died, so I just went ahead and finished up everything I was working on, and here is the final flip through. I'm also going to show you some details. Here's the green. It doesn't show up super well on my camera. The coral doesn't either, but they are much brighter in person. You did see all of this page. I'm not sure how well you could see this on the camera, but this is just a little note that I will be selling at a farmer's market. Again, I just wanted very simple spreads for this month and a very bright, cheery, and not too complicated look. This is the one that stopped recording partway through. I again just kept it very simple. I alternated between using the markers for writing the dividing lines and the headers for the day. I did have a little bit of trouble figuring out what I was going to do here because, as you saw, I blocked this off first for the favorite moments, and then I realized I didn't have enough space for all 7 days, so I just made Saturday a little smaller over here since Saturdays usually aren't too busy unless I have a market. And then here is another spread. This is where my battery died, but this one is also very simple. I just used the markers for the vertical lines and some washi tape for the horizontal lines. Then I wrote the headers all in the same style and used stickers for half of them. And this section is just going to be a section for notes as well. And that is all for this month. So go ahead and let me know in the comments what you think of this spread and this layout. And if you have any recommendations for color themes for the coming months, you can feel free to let me know in the comments as well. Thank you guys again for watching, and I hope you guys have a great rest of the week.